And, we cited the numbers for Klay Thompson. 8 of 30 from three his last 4 games. Steph Curry wasn't much better, especially down in L.A.
He was bad.
He was 7 of 24 in the first 2 games in L.A. and then 4 of 14 in game number 6. Just not good enough.
And I didn't love some of the shot selection. When the shot's not falling, it felt like he was searching and felt very desperate.
I don't know why the Warriors stopped embracing the mid-range.
Yeah, I don't get it either. B, you went to the break and you were talking about Bob Myers and whatnot. Right. And look, I know you've probably done this exercise, in your own head, and I'm sure you have things that you want to add to this. I just wrote down things that I was thinking about, top to bottom. And forget what does Bob Myers do. Do you want Bob Myers? Do you want him in? Do you want him out? Because I'm sure there are people on both sides. I want him in, but do you want Bob Myers?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Now, do you want Draymond in or out?
I don't know. I'm indifferent on that right now.
Okay.
I don't know. What does the roster look like? Because the thing with Draymond Green that you have to have the conversation about.
Yeah.
Teams are not going to honor him at all offensively. Can you continue to play 4-on-5/3-on-5 basketball offensively if a guy's not going to be a threat to score? That's the thing. You look at these playoffs. Denver, all 5 guys are going to be a threat to score.
Yes.
All right. The Lakers, when they play Schroeder, all 5 guys are a threat to score. The Celtics, laugh all you want about Derek White. He had a hell of a season.
Yeah, he'll at least shoot it.
They got 5 guys on the floor at one time that are threats to score. Even Marcus Smart, he's respectable from 3. And the Miami Heat, they got 5 guys who are going to be threats offensively. The Warriors, when they go Looney or Draymond, it's not. And is he good enough to be their small ball 5 now at the age of 33, turning 34 next year?
And can he hold up? Can he hold up? Well, and here's the other part. Like, if Draymond stays at $27 million, all right, now there's a salary cap domino. You're hitting $200 million in just taxes. Right. So that means your taxes, not your payroll, your taxes for the payroll are higher than every other team's actual payroll.
Right.
Okay? Then, because
of that... Lakers want to go through that again.
I know.
If it doesn't guarantee a championship.
No, it doesn't. And then the other part of that is it also restricts adding a player at the mid-level exception. This year you got Dante DiVincenzo on the mid-level exception. So if you hit $200 million in luxury tax, you lose that. So now it's just vet mins and whoever you draft.
Right.
Or trading away somebody. But even then, it's still costing you $200 million. Now you have Kerr entering the final year of his deal. Do you extend him?
Well, they haven't yet. Do
you want him having those questions every single week?
Well, here's the deal, though. Will they ask him every single week? Because Draymond Green had an opt-out. Nobody asked him about it.
That's true. But do you
think Green, like, think about this. And I was thinking about this, actually.
Yeah?
Over the weekend. One thing I was thinking about.
Give it to me.
The biggest thing I said, man, what? So I'm sitting there, and right before I was watching the movie Air with Anna.
Yeah.
You watched the movie Air, by the way, great film. Great film on how Jordan got courted by Nike and how they sealed the deal. Awesome. What if, because we've seen now Draymond Green, and a lot of people have been turned off on Draymond Green because of all the events. The KD episode. Saying that Steve and Bob screwed it all up. Jordan Poole incident. All the everything that comes with Draymond Green. What if the Warriors had chose to say, hey, KD, can we convince you to stay here? We'll move off of Draymond Green. Looking at where we're at now. Yeah, they won the one championship last year. It feels like they would have had one more with Kevin Durant. I mean, like, how much differently does it look with Kevin Durant than Draymond Green? A guy who's not a threat offensively. Now, I know some Warrior fans are so out on Kevin Durant. I don't get it. He's one of the greatest players to ever play this game, and he chose to come to the Golden State Warriors and play in the Bay Area. I will forever be appreciative of that, of Kevin Durant. The guy was a baller, and he decided to spend 3 years of his prime with the Golden State Warriors. I can't knock that, but a lot of people will. Do you really bring back Draymond Green? That everything that happened, everything, because the heart and soul of this team was Stephen Curry. The moral compass of this team, the guy who stabilized everything, was Kevon Looney. Looney had a better year than Draymond Green. And oh, by the way, when he did get starter minutes, oh my God, he could drop dimes too.
Yeah, no, he's very underrated on that aspect. No, you're 100% correct. I don't know about the KD thing. I mean, I went to the Nuggets-Suns game Thursday night. I was in Arizona, and I got a firsthand view of Kevin Durant. Now, I know he got hurt. He hurt his foot.
Right.
This year, he looked like a shell of him. Now, it was also maybe the worst half of basketball he's ever played. I mean, I think he had one field goal that he made in the first half. And he scored in the second. They got boat raced. That game was over.
It was awful.
But Bonta, he looked so slow and so less explosive. That being said, on a team with someone like Steph Curry, because he has Booker, you're going to get a lot of great looks.
Right.
So,
I don't know. It's a wild hypothetical because knowing how the Draymond Green side,
but they did win last year.
Do fans want to buckle up and re-sign Draymond Green for another 3 years? As all the reports came out right after the game.
Well, you know what it feels
right after the game.
I don't think people want to accept this, but a part of them, like, hey, we keep the core together. It does have San Francisco Giants feels to it.
Yeah.
This feels like 2016, where it's like, we're really close. Let's keep the band together. And it's like,
And here's the crazy part. On the way to the championship last year, it wasn't the core that helped you. It was Curry for sure.
Absolutely.
But Wiggins was your most consistent player outside of Stephen Curry.
But see, to me, Wiggins is the core. And I think people misphrase it. Oh, the core. And they're right. Like the three guys that have been here since the beginning, winning it all. And I get all that. But like, we're talking about now and moving forward. This isn't about what you've done before.
So you got that aspect of it. Looney had some memorable games last year in the playoff run. Hell, we all say, man, game 2 of the Mavericks series, Draymond Green getting in foul trouble is the best thing to happen to the team.
Yeah.
Game 4 in Boston, he got benched.
They were better with him off the floor. Then he got subbed back in with 3 minutes to go and made a couple of nice defensive plays. But all their best moments in that game 4 were with him off the floor.
Right.
And people misremember it.
So I don't like, somebody else is saying the better question is, does Bob want to be back? I don't know if Bob wants to be back.
Well, we can't answer that.
I can't answer that.
So that's why
maybe
I'm asking,
Bob wants a break.
Do Warrior fans want Bob back?
I think Warrior fans want Bob back, but I don't know if Bob wants to be back.
Yeah.
He may need a break. Think about this run.
It's been
stressful. You go through the start of the championship run. You go through the KD years. You got a massage the Draymond Green situation. Then this year, he's crying at a podium, knowing that Draymond Green smacked the hell out of Jordan Poole. And how do we defend it?
But I think there is. I've heard from a pocket of Warrior fans saying maybe Bob's too emotionally attached to some of these other guys. Maybe he's not cold and calculated enough to make tough decisions to keep the championship run going. While because you're too close to these guys, and I get that. I think it's a fair point. I don't know if I all the way agree with it, but I think it's a fair point. Like, because you got Clay, for example, as where I'm rattling off some of the questions. Clay's in his final year. What do you do there?
Depends how you want to construct this team.
I know. I agree with you.
Got $43 million left. Do you ride it out?
Well, you're going to have to know by October whether because if you want to extend him before the regular season, I believe October 18th or October 20th is the date.
I'm cool with letting it play out.
I kind of am too.
I don't know if I feel comfortable giving. I don't know if I feel comfortable giving Klay Thompson an extension right now.
I am kind of in a wait and see.
Watching that series?
Yeah, I'm wait and see.
I
want to see what his role adjustment and how he can adapt to that is. I want to see that whole thing. Then you got Poole, big jump up in salary coming in this year. Wiggins, a reduction in salary. The young guys, do you separate them? Do you keep them together? Who's in, who's out? Right? And then can they survive 20 games of Curry not playing? Because that's what he's missed the last couple of years.
That's what's going to happen.
What?
Curry's going to miss time.
He's going to miss time. So,
and it's okay.
But can they survive it? Because this year, they survived it better than they have in years past. And Jordan Poole, who everyone wants for 9 out of 10. And believe me, Jordan is not on my high list of guys I love right now. But like Jordan Poole averaged 26-plus points a game, 6 assists in the games where he missed Steph Curry. And then, are they healthy enough? The core, the Clay, Dre, and Curry, are they healthy enough to warrant being run back?
Again, one thing that derailed the Celtics in the late 80s was when they drafted Lynn Bias. He was supposed to be the guy to carry that torch from Larry Bird, Robert Parrish, and Kevin McHale. The Lakers, obviously, they got Magic Johnson. They were able to reestablish themselves in the mid-'80s with Byron Scott.
Yeah.
They bring in Kurt Rambis. Of course, Michael Thompson comes off the bench. They were able to retool.
Yeah.
How would the Warriors retool with an aging group? I don't think this is smart business to bring all three back right now. Right now, how I'm feeling right now at this moment.
On that.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Are we too raw from the loss?
No, I had a couple days to think about it.
Okay.
I had a couple days to think about it, like thinking about championship teams and thinking about, is Draymond Green's defense that elite to the point where I could go against Jokic? Can he guard Jokic? Well, obviously, AD was a problem, and that's why Draymond Green is here, right? Steve Kerr labeled him the greatest defensive player of all time. And the greatest defensive players of all time, they shut the water off. AD was drinking a lot of water in this series. AD did what he wanted.
AD had his way.
He had his way.
Look, he had his way. I mean, there's no other way around it.
I don't know. I don't know if I feel good about running it back. And moments after the game, just moments. Hey, Draymond Green, the Warriors want to keep him back. Are we sure about that? Or is that just coming from Shams? Or is that coming from Clutch? I have no idea. No idea. But I don't think you can run this back and expect to get to the second round, let alone to the NBA Finals.
Can we acknowledge there was a very real possibility they didn't even get it into the playoffs, let alone win in the first round?
No doubt.
I think Warrior fans need to acknowledge that. I know, championship. They were lucky to get where they got on some level. And at the same time, you could still be disappointed.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, both are true. They overachieved and completely underperformed.
I mean, if Shaq had any experience, they win that series. Let's be real. The Sacramento Kings.
Bonte, they cannot. If you want to get one more realistic championship shot with Steph Curry, and I'm saying one is in a minimum, you got to tinker with this thing.
You have to tinker.
You cannot run this back.
And you got to get guys who can get easy buckets at the rim.
Yes.
You can't just be jump shot. You can't be jump shot heavy.
Yes.
Jump shot
and
oriented.
They need somebody who can get free throw line.
Well, you thought Kuminga could step up. He played 24 minutes. We haven't even got to Kuminga.
Well, because you know why we haven't gotten Kuminga? Because he more resembles a non-NBA player than he does someone who deserves heavy minutes.
I don't agree with that.
What do you mean?
I disagree with that wholeheartedly.
What part?
That he doesn't resemble an NBA player.
He barely played the series.
Yeah, well, that wasn't on him. That was on Wiggins and GP2 coming back. This guy got 24 minutes a game from February 1st through the end of the season. He played 24 minutes a game. He averaged over 13 points a game, shot over 50% from the floor, and over 45 from three. It was rebounded a little bit better, but was actually playing some lockdown defense. Think about the guys he played.
Why couldn't he play in the playoffs?
Ask Steve Kerr. He guarded Luka Doncic down the stretch. All the top wing players in the NBA, when Wiggins was out, Kuminga got that assignment. How'd he do?
He did good.
Did we think going into the playoffs, boy, you got 8. You got the starting 5. You got DiVincenzo, Poole, and Kuminga.
Yeah, but you're talking about talent, and clearly there was more to this. And what I'm thinking is there has to be attitude, discipline, falling. There's more.
Well, like you told me when we had CJ Holmes on and we talked about the Chronicle article. You felt empathy for the guy because he was 20 years old.
I still do.
I feel empathy, but I knew he couldn't go to the Chronicle because once he went to the Chronicle, that was it for him. He was done in these playoffs. You can't go seeking when you haven't established anything. However, you can't find me 10 to 15 minutes for this guy. You're going to just tell me, hey, 4 minutes, he was awful. You had to pull him. Was he really that bad?
Well,
was he really that bad?
In comparison to seeing some bad Jordan Poole minutes,
some bad Klay Thompson minutes, some bad Draymond minutes.
But those guys have earned more leeway than he has.
But these are the playoffs. You got to stop coaching the personality and what you've done for me lately. Kuminga was coming on and ascending. He can't get 2 minutes against LeBron James.
Well,
and use 2 fouls.
That I agree with.
I don't know, man.
No, I agree with you on that level. I'm just trying to think of what there has to be more to this story.
He went from 24 minutes to no minutes.
I know.
He went for somebody you counted on to get to the playoffs to, hey, once we got to the playoffs, you'll get a little cup of coffee here, but you're awful.
But was
3 minutes enough to determine how bad you are?
Let me ask you this. Was GP2 in the limited amount that you saw him in the 2 series better than Kuminga those final 2 months that you're referencing?
GP2 was really good in game 4 or 5. I'll give him that.
Okay.
But in the Sacramento series, he had moments.
So you would take the 2 months from Kuminga over what you saw from...
I'm just saying GP2.
Okay, I don't know.
GP2 was inconsistent in his minutes.
It's an unfair question.
GP2 admitted, I was never healthy.
Well, that's a whole nother can of worms. I mean, you traded for a guy who's hurt.
I mean, come on. So that's where it is. We'll get to the line in a second. I know a lot of people waiting on hold. But there's some GP2 sound I want to play a little bit later. He discussed how the vibe was different when he got back. The vibe was never there. And we're all in denial. I know I was.
Yeah.
I knew what was going on. But I was like, man, they're going to figure it out. Well, narrator, they didn't figure it out.
Well, I was skeptical. I'll take you behind the scenes. We do this thing where we put out like predictions. And I told me and Guru were talking, I was like, you know how badly I wanted to put Lakers in 7, and I didn't have the guts to do it because I knew I would get flamed on social media.
Yeah, who cares?
And I was so worried. The Lakers, it was like the worst matchup.
But you know what? When it comes to getting flamed on social media, I throw my predictions out there. Warriors in 6. And people, you were wrong. I don't.
Yeah,
give
I know. But I'm saying,
I don't take it that seriously when it comes to predictions and like in terms of like the blowback.
Well,
from
no,
them.
I don't care about that. What I'm saying is that like it did feel like to me leading into it. I'm not trying to have revisionist history. I'm being sincere. It's like the worst possible matchup for the Warriors.
Right. It was a
I mean,
bad
it really
one.
was.
It was a bad one.